Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah! We got it! We got
New 52 booklet.
it! Somebody clip this one.
Welcome to Comics League Movie Night. I'm Jared, and we're discussing Batman and Robin this week. What's up, Nick?
Hey, Jared. Do you know what killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age.
Ah, yes.
Now I got the pun. So, the ramifications that this film had on comic book movies is hilarious because what you don't realize, this is, for instance, this is the reason why we didn't get the Nicolas Cage Superman movie. Well,
yeah, this movie is definitely an end of. This movie is definitely an end of an era. Like the Burton kind of like that era, like the Burton era Batman movies. What year did this come out? Like 97, 98?
This came out in 97, June 20th.
And when did Blade come out? Like, I think it was like the same year.
Let me see.
Yeah, because Blade is kind of like the marker of like of the beginning of the next. So yeah, the next year Blade came out, and that was like the beginning of that era of comic book movies.
Yeah, and so, all right, here we go. So the problem with this movie, among many other things, is that this is what happens when executives want to commercialize a thing, because part of the reason why they went super campy after Batman Returns was they wanted to be able to sell Happy Meal toys for the characters.
Well, you're only really telling half the story. So there was Happy Meal toys for Batman Returns. It's just a lot of parents complained that like there's Happy Meal toys for such a violent movie. And so when I look at Batman and Robin, I think they learned all the wrong lessons from Batman Forever. Because Batman Forever, say what you will about it, but there was an attempt to make a good movie with Batman Forever.
Wait a second. So you're telling me Warner Brothers learned all the wrong lessons? Gasp.
Some things never change, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So this movie starts off, and it's Freeze robbing, I think a diamond exchange or something like that. And Batman shows up, and in one of the stupidest lines ever. So you know how like Michael Keaton like pioneered the whole "I'm Batman" line. Freeze goes, "Hey Freeze, I'm Batman." And I'm like, what the? You're not that's supposed to be like an intimidating thing. He can obviously see you're Batman, dude. And
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
It is like the daddest of dad jokes ever before dad jokes are even a thing.
And it's honestly it's the most moronic thing ever. And then it's obviously Robin shows up and they're fighting Freeze goons. Then all of a sudden they start playing
hockey. It's a hockey team from hell.
Yeah, they're playing hockey. So all of a sudden, so Batman and Robin click their heels together and skating blades pop out of their boots.
I mean, let's be honest, it's not the most ridiculous thing. Remember, shark repellent in their utility belt was a thing.
Yeah, but that's more believable because it's like you can kind of see where that would go on the belt. With the skates, it's like where does this go?
All right, so my headcanon is that basically Batman and Robin, they tune their gear towards what mission they're going on, and they knew they were facing Mr. Freeze, so they had a lot of those stuff on them, like the ice skates, the melters.
What's up, Daniel?
That's my headcanon, anyway.
Yeah, Daniel says you guys should have seen the cinema sins about this movie before the live stream, but That's true. But so the other issue with this is here's the problem. The problem carries on. It doesn't get any better. So as the film progresses, they catch up to Freeze, and the way Freeze escapes is he jumps off his rocket, deploys like metal bug wings.
Dude, you're skipping a step. They literally went into space.
Oh yeah, that's true. They also went before Zdarsky.
Like they literally jumped. The show jumps the atmosphere in like the first 5 minutes. Sorry, go ahead, Jared.
Before Zdarsky had Batman fall from the moon, you literally had Batman fall from a rocket onto the ground on what amounts to be a snowboard.
Cowabunga!
Yeah, it's because of movies like this that no one took superhero movies seriously or superhero content in general. And I'm like, I could see why.
This is why Blade was marketed as a vampire movie and not a comic book movie. See, this is the conflict I have, where people retroactively label like Blade is a good movie and Blade is an important historical movie. I'm not saying that, but sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, had a series of burps I was trying to cover up. Anyway, Blade was an important movie, but people retroactively try to say it was like the first comic book movie of its age. The problem was it was not marketed as a comic book movie. It was marketed as a vampire action flick, and the fact that it was based on a comic book was related to like the trivia. Like, hey, did you know that Blade is actually a comic book character?
Yeah, and what's kind of funny, when Black Panther first came out, they're like, it's the first black superhero movie, and I'm like, Blade, literally Blade. I know it wasn't marketed at the time as a superhero movie, but Blade is a superhero. Still, it's incredible. Randy says Batman and Robin is good if you look at it as a modern day Adam West. Yeah, that's true. It's just the problem is this is in an era where this is in a post 1989 era of Batman.
See, here's the problem is the reason why Batman 66 works is they're kind of in on the joke. You know what I'm saying? It's presented as, yeah, this is ridiculous. We know it's ridiculous, but we're playing it straight. Batman and Robin is, wait, this is ridiculous? No, it's totally not ridiculous that Batman goes to space. Like, they're playing it like this isn't serious. Like, it's presented as if they want you to take it seriously. Whereas Batman 66 was in on the joke. Yeah, they played it straight, but they weren't trying to pretend this was like serious highbrow cinema versus that's what Batman and Robin was at least trying to do.
Yeah. Daniel also says you can pan this movie as much as you want, that it's a regression to Adam West Batman, but
you're about to become compost.
Yeah, but this is the only big screen live action Batgirl that is actually feminine and sexy. Okay, he makes a good point there. Even though it's not Barbara Gordon, but you know what? Daniel makes an excellent point there. What are we discussing today?
So I know it's not like big screen, but Yvonne Craig is hotter than Alicia Silverstone. There, I'm saying it.
But yeah, in terms of big screen theatrical Batman,
I think she's the only like big screen theatrical live action adaptation of Batgirl so far.
Yeah, I know. We would have gotten another one, but Warner Brothers kind of pulled that. Which, when you look at the set footage of it, some of it looks good, but then when you see her run, you're like, yeah, you made a good choice.
Yeah, they would have edited around that for sure.
Yeah, and the way she runs, like, and I'm like, no human being runs with that. I
do feel bad that, like, I would have loved to see Brendan Fraser as Firefly. That would have been a good performance.
Yeah, I think he could have done a fantastic job. But continuing on, so this movie also it brings in like Poison Ivy, and it tries to like force in and I remember the last time I talked about this movie is when Nick and I interviewed Chuck Dixon on this show, because for those that somehow don't know, Chuck co-created Bane. So I asked him about this version, and I'm like, yeah, because the only two live action versions of Bane that we've seen are this monstrosity, pun intended, and Tom Hardy, which was actually pretty solid.
You don't like a Bane who goes bomb, bomb.
Bane. Yeah, they basically made Bane into the Hulk, and the problem with that,
Not even that. The Hulk is smarter than this.
well, yeah, they got the physicality of Bane down pretty well, as a matter of fact. The problem with that is that Bane is not just a muscle-bound idiot. He is like a very tactically thinking character. You can't just take away the mind part. That's like making a movie that features Deadpool and then sewing his mouth shut, but they never do that.
See, The Dark Knight Rises, I think, has the exact opposite problem, where they do a great job at like the mentality of Bane, but I don't think he's big enough.
No,
like he's big and he's imposing, but Bane is supposed to be like huge, and he's huge for a human. But Bane is supposed to be superhumanly human. Like Bane is a character where I could see Bane actually like going toe to toe with the Hulk and lasting a few rounds.
Well, yeah, and the thing is like that's why I think if the unlikely event. Oh, what? By the way, Bane is actually a villain that I could see us getting in the Reeves verse, because basically it's just a dude enhanced on super soldier drugs. That's easily how you could do that. And
yeah,
Bane is for the most part actually a pretty grounded super villain compared to the other Bat villains.
I will say this though, Uma Thurman definitely understood what movie she's in. Like
she's
her
the best
performance
part of the movie.
She understood what and I'm sorry, like Arnold Schwarzenegger is just doing like an Arnold Schwarzenegger performance, and I am there for it. I love it.
Yeah, but I will say, yeah, it's kind of funny. Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, she plays the character. It's actually pretty close to the source material, so credit where credit is due. 100%.
Like I said, he got the assignment. He understood exactly what movie she was in.
Yeah, and then I like where so they get so she actually tries to like sow discord among Batman and Robin, which by the way, isn't it kind of funny how Robin is wearing what would become the New 52 Robin suit except with a cape?
I mean, he's basically wearing the Nightwing suit.
Well, yeah, but they still call him Robin. I'm like, where on the suit is there even an R?
As I told Lady Freeze before I pulled her plug, this is a one-woman show.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's why every Poison Ivy action figure comes complete with him. Try not to make a mess when you die. I'm sorry. I have this. Like, you got to realize, I saw this movie in theaters as a kid. George
so
Clooney
this movie came out in the Stone Age, is what you're telling me.
Dear God, brother. George Clooney owes me $8. He because he has. So tell them. So George Clooney has said, if anyone actually saw it in theaters, he would personally refund them the money.
Yeah, hilarious. That'd be great.
So what's funny is, so here's okay. So if the Flash ends up in the Batman and Robin universe, does that mean Poison Ivy and Arnold Schwarzenegger are out there somewhere?
You know, I never thought of that. Even though that movie is extremely forgettable, so I'm like,
he ends up in the Batman and Robin universe.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, that explains that movie. I thought the Riddler was good looks wise. Well,
by the way,
he's in the previous movie.
By the way, Superman exists in the Batman and Robin universe. This is why Superman works alone.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
There's a version of Superman out there somewhere.
Watch, it's actually the version of Superman. It's actually the Nick Cage Superman.
That's my headcanon.
That's mine too.
Guys, it's officially canon. Nick Cage Superman is the Superman of Batman and Robin.
So for those of you that don't know, at the same time as this was being developed, or around the same time, Tim Burton was developing a Superman movie called Superman Lives. But what happened is, because this movie came out and bombed so horribly, Warner Brothers pulled the plug on it. I think right when it was about to go into full, they were about to shoot the movie, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and if you watch the documentary, the movie probably would have been pretty decent. Like, it would have come out like 99, and I think it probably would have actually been kind of good.
You know, it'd be a fun thing to do for movie night is just to talk about that documentary.
No, we've talked about it before. We've done an episode about Superman Lives where we had to watch the documentary.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one. Fat nipples. Yeah. At least Schumacher had an explanation for the nipples. He was trying to go for like Greek statues. The problem is he like zooms in on them and focuses on them. And in addition,
There's literally
to
a shot of them pulling their pants up. Like, what did Batman just take a dump before putting his bat pants on?
Probably. And remember that when McFarlane announced that we're making figures for Batman and Robin, he literally recreated that segment with the action figures.
Yeah, and it's like, yes, our figures will have bat nipples.
Yes, exactly. So basically, Poison Ivy uses her feminine wiles to sow discord between Batman and Robin.
Wiles.
I had to. So
her pheromones.
Yeah, she sows discord between Batman and Robin. But the problem,
before that, she kills Lionel Luthor.
Oh yeah, you mean the dude that said that anyone that enjoyed Man of Steel should not be a parent? That guy?
The guy who played Lionel Luthor in Smallville.
No, I know. He's the same actor that said parents who like Man of Steel should not be parents or something like that.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He says he doubts the parenting skills of anyone that likes Man of Steel.
What?
And I'm like, you a-hole. This is also after where Michael Rosenbaum was actively campaigning for Eisenberg's job. This is honestly the problem I have with most of the Smallville cast. Not Tom Welling, because as far as I've seen, he's stays down the radar. But the other people
Rosenbaum is legit, though. I will defend Michael Rosenbaum. Like, if you watch his podcast, he's a pretty cool guy. Remember, he was also the Flash.
Yeah, exactly. He has more of a leg to stand on, but I'm sorry. If you attack people for liking Man of Steel, I'm sorry. At that point, I hope you never get to play any DC characters ever again.
So, Jared, I think I speak for both of us when I say, if you don't like something, that is fine. If you hate Man of Steel, if you think Zack Snyder is the worst director ever, if you think he's like the worst human being imaginable, that's okay. You're allowed to think that. What you're not allowed to do is say other people are bad for having a different opinion.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Just because it didn't connect to you doesn't mean it didn't connect to other people. And Brown says he was cuddling up to Hamada. Yeah, that's true about Michael Rosenbaum. But still, I'm just like, that's why whenever that segment happens, I'm always like, goodbye. See you later, dude, because you know what? Yeah, you're attacking people. You know what? I have to play the clip now. Thanks a lot, John Glover. Glover. Hang on, where is it? Yeah. Where is it? I think you know exactly what clip I'm going to play. This is a message to people like Lionel Luthor.
Okay, they're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters.
Yeah, I love Smallville. I do. But they do kind of come off like an air of like, oh, we're better than the other depict. Like, we're better than other people. We were more highbrow. Like okay, maybe for like the first 4 seasons, but like after the 5th season, when you moved to Metropolis, you got full on campy. So like literally half your show is schlock.
How about when you turn Doomsday into a rip-off version of the Hulk?
Also, did that season, like, when did this? I feel like that season came out the same year as Fantastic Four 2.
I don't remember which one, but let me get caught up on the chat.
Yeah, I need to look.
Daniel says I got attacked today by a gun fan for defending Man of Steel and Watchmen. You know what's really funny, Daniel? More and more people are starting to tweet that the gun fans are becoming more annoying than the Snyder fans. So I feel like slowly but surely the gun fans are going to become the new internet punching bags, which still I don't like. I don't like any fan base becoming the punching bags, but it'll take the attention off of Snyder fans. So there you go. Zachary Levi and Shazam was doing too. Yeah, where he was attacking people for wanting the Ayer cut, where he even said, oh yeah, the Ayer cut is not even as good as James Gunn's version. I'm like, you didn't even see the movie though.
I have definitive proof.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, which had Galactus as a cloud, came out in 2007. Smallville season 8, which is Doomsday, came out in 2008. So a year later, so it is like extremely likely they saw Fantastic Four like, hey, I like that idea. I'm sorry, the correlation is there.
Or wait,
not causation.
Not only that, here's correlation. You ready, Nick? Darkseid, when he showed up, was a cloud.
Exactly my point. So it's correlation is not causation, but it is very strong correlation.
Now, let me be clear. Like Nick said, I like Smallville, and I acknowledge what it did for the DC brand as for all. You can like Smallville. I just don't like the air of superiority a lot of the actors have from that show. That's it. That's my only problem with the show. Because I understand why they couldn't use Batman and Wonder Woman or even reference them.
I mean, they're nice people otherwise. Like,
yeah, otherwise.
Christian Cook. Like, if you met them, they're perfectly nice people. It's just the way they, like, I don't like the way they view themselves as compared to others. But as people, they're perfectly nice people. Like, I would love to meet Christian Cook was actually kind of a crush of mine when I was younger. You know, Tom Welling, he just, like, he seems like a really Michael Rosenbaum, Erica Duras, all those people, you know.
Yeah, it's just, here's the thing, and I ran into this when I saw
Brown sucking up.
Yeah, but I'm sure Amy Adams is the best Lois Lane. Again, I've said I like most TV versions of Lois Lane. I just hate the comics version. But going to this, it's like I see a lot of creative, I saw once the artist for the Dawn of DC Green Arrow book attacked Zack Snyder's work, and I put in the comments, this is extremely unprofessional for a current creative at DC to attack another DC creative's work. Extremely unprofessional.
I'm sorry. You can't build up your own work by trying to tear down another people. That is petty, immature, and like Jared said, unprofessional. If you want to prove your work is superior, let your work do the talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you know, like if you make something and people think it's better than what you don't like, then congratulations, you've done your job. And the best part is you are totally clean because you didn't attack them. You didn't tear them down. Other people did because your work is superior. And honestly, when they do that, it is a mark of someone who knows their work is not superior, who knows their work is lesser. People who attack others to bring them down are unconfident in their own work.
Brown goes, the Lionel Luthor actor was just playing himself in that role, so he was method acting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so back to Batman and Robin. Now, here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing about this movie, Nick, is that it came out the wrong time. Because I think if this came out in the Silver Age of comics, I think it would have been a little more accepted. Because if you look at the Silver Age of comics, this stuff fits very well. I think
it's a little bit too. I think it's a little bit too violent for the Silver Age. Like if it like let's say it kind of come out during the 60s. Obviously the effects are different, but like the level of like violence and mature content, like there is way too many innuendos to pass by the censors.
Yeah, that's true.
But and that's why the problem is this movie is it doesn't know what it wants to be. Like it's a little bit too risque to be an Adam West throwback. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of like sex jokes. There's a lot of, you know, there's violence. There's, you know, death and all that stuff. And it doesn't. But it's too silly to be a Burton-esque movie. I feel like Batman Forever, kind of like it was like so close to hitting that right balance. And when you see the behind the scenes, you know that there's an intention to make a good movie. I will defend Batman Forever to my dying breath.
Release the Schumacher cut. So they
yes, # release the Schumacher cut. But what I'm saying is I do not extend that same courtesy to this movie.
No, because at this, and plus, here's the thing with this one, it's not like there was a great director's cut, but it got butchered like the Schumacher cut. No, this is pretty much the movie. So I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is, like the push for toy sales, like this was a toy commercial. Like the fact that they coined a term called toyetic during this. Also, you got to realize, you know who Avi Arad is, right?
Yes, exactly.
He had a hand in this movie. He was the one who was really pushing for this stuff. So the guy who almost ruined Spider-Man, this is the same guy who pushed Venom into Spider-Man 3.
Oh. No.
Yeah, Avi Arad.
Don't forget that Wonder Woman appeared in Smallville comics and was amazing. They hinted. Yeah, exactly. They brought her in. See, here's the thing. The comics, you know what the comics did? They did what they should have done in the show in the comics. So it's like Wonder Woman actually shows up. She's not with Steve Trevor. Batman shows up. So I'm like, Thank you,
So
somewhere where it happens.
Okay, so which Batman would if obviously I think the Batman they have is like an original Batman of Smallville.
Yeah.
But would you have which I think the Batman in the Smallville universe is the Christopher Nolan one.
I think he's too old to fit in that universe, though.
Why?
Because the Batman in that era is too old. I would have really, honestly, here's the thing. You know who kind of works in the Smallville age range for Batman? Robert Pattinson.
There's too much of a time difference.
No, I mean, if they placed it in there, it would make a little more sense because here's the thing. Pattinson is the youngest Batman we've gotten in live action.
I see what you're saying. It's just there's like a 20-year time difference between the things, so it's just like that doesn't work. Smallville is a product of the 2000s.
Yeah, then in that case, I can't really place a Batman in there because in those iterations,
Gotham, the Gotham Batman.
That works. Okay, that works. I like that one. You could say that. You could say that those seasons of Smallville, where Batman would show up, takes place after Gotham because remember in Gotham at the end he becomes Batman.
Well, maybe. Well, there's some figuring, but we can make it work.
Who is the worst Lois Lane in live action? That's a good question. Who is the worst Lois Lane?
Live action.
Live action, yeah.
I know you're going to say Terry Hatcher, but as a person
who said I was going to say that?
I had a feeling. Which
I haven't watched it, so I can't really.
I hope one of these days we get to interview Dean Cain, which, knowing our connections, that could be possible.
We probably could. Yeah, exactly. That would be fun. I'm going to interview it as I would title that as Superman comes to the show.
I swear, if we get Dean Cain on, I know you're going to ask Super Wonder. I know you're going to ask that.
Yeah, of course. I have to. And watch him piss me off by saying Lois Lane. And I'm like, Daniel says, I deeply hated the DCEU Lois Lane, especially Man of Steel. She put her nose where she shouldn't, and she literally invaded Clark's privacy and intimacy. That's just Lois Lane in general.
The problem with the Amy Adams version is I think at one point she literally threatened to expose Clark if he didn't do what she said.
True. But still, at least she was smart enough to figure out who Superman was.
I don't know. I like Tyler Hoechlin's Lois Lane. I have a soft spot for because what I like about Superman and Lois is they act like people for the most part. Like they actually act like human beings in that show. Like the way they have their conflict, they actually try and like be actually like you can tell they have a healthy relationship. Like they have proper community. Like people actually communicate in that show.
Really, but yeah. So the one in Superman and Lois is one of my favorites of the ones that I tolerate. By the way, Brown says Terry Hatcher is better than Tyler Hoechlin's Lois Lane. What do you think, Nick?
That is your opinion, Brown Destroyer, and we respect it. Sorry, Jared's having some technical difficulties right now.
I am? Am I back?
Yeah, you're roboting. Yep, unfortunately.
I should be here. All right,
we got you, bro. You're back. Yes.
Okay, good.
Go.
So,
unfortunately.
Thank you. So, Terry's Lois Lane was toxic, but she was overly romantic, which won me over. Okay, I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
And let's see. So, going back to this, so you have the whole Batman and Robin breakup where he goes, "I'm going solo," which they had a missed opportunity. This could have been where he throws out the Robin identity and becomes Nightwing. They literally could have done it this way.
It was a bit late in the movie for that, in my opinion.
But here's the thing. When did this movie ever show that it was capable of good storytelling, Nick? Besides the Mr. Freeze origin, which they actually took from BTAS. So I was like, okay, at least you did something right.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I've mentioned this on the show, like, on numerous occasions, how, like, before BTAS, Mr. Freeze was like a joke villain. Like, go back and watch Mr. Freeze on the 60s Batman. It is nothing like we know now. BTAS is what made Mr. Freeze. It turned him into kind of like a Shakespearean tragedy. And you got to realize BTAS came out like 92. And then like 5 years later, it's literally canonized as the definitive origin of Mr. Freeze. Like, that's how strong it was, how quickly it caught on.
And then Jerry Dugan ruined it with his Batman One Bad Day series, where he made Master Freeze a toxic male that froze Nora so she wouldn't go out and with her friends and have a life.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the other thing that this movie does. Okay, let me put it to you that way. But the problem with the movie is again, the problem with the Mr. Freeze in this movie, and it's on a writing level, it's not like Arnold, because I think Arnold did the best he could with what he was given. It was the idea that he was constantly making ice puns and all that, and I was like, I can't take the character seriously that way.
You're not putting me in the cooler.
I know. I'm just like, oh, this is stupid. Daniel says there's a scene in the 90s Lois and Clark TV series where a time traveler tells Lois that she is so famous in the future because she was so stupid at a galactic level for being unable to discover Clark. So she's famous for being stupid. I love it. I got to watch that show. I would watch Batman and Robin over and over again before watching the garbage we get nowadays. Honestly, Randy makes a good point because at least this movie is trying to be something.
Okay, if I had to pick my least, like, the worst Lois Lane, Superman Returns. Like Rachel Bosworth, no offense to her, but she's terrible. She is a terrible, she's toxic. She's she basically is emotionally abusive to Superman. It just, come on.
Yeah, I do agree. And plus, here's the thing. I don't think the actress that they picked to play Lois Lane was good enough for that role.
Like, I have no problem with her. I have no problem with her moving on. Superman was gone for 5 years, okay? That's fine. But the way she treats him afterwards, like, he is obviously Superman's son. You obviously know that. Like, come on. You don't have to get back with him. But at least tell him, yeah, that's your son. You want to spend time with him? Cool. You're a good person. Like, at least, like, just the way she treats him. Like, okay, you moved on. That's fine. But it's still Superman's son, and he wants to be, like, obviously he would want to be in his son's life. So it's like, oh my God. Sorry.
Have we talked about Superman Returns on movie night?
No, we haven't.
Okay, that's probably going to end up being a future movie night thing.
Yeah, I'll put it on the list.
Yeah, exactly. Does Dean Cain look? Dean Cain's look in the first season was perfect for Clark Kent, but after that they ruined it with the black brush hairstyle. In my opinion, that is something I didn't like in BVS either.
Yeah.
Randy has the point. Inserts a Thanos meme when he said he was so hard with Nebula. Maybe I treated you too harshly. Yeah, exactly. Nick, to be fair, Lois is abusive in a lot of versions. Yeah. That is a good point, though. There's a lot of honestly, the Lois that wasn't abusive, credit where credit's due, is Smallville. At least she was the least abusive of the Lois Lanes.
I disagree. I like Erica Duras got better, but she was kind of a jerk to Clark in the early seasons, and she was like very like abrasive. I wasn't like, she got better, but she was always like I don't know, like arrogant and whatever. It's like,
so she was Lois
Lane. Wish. Yeah. She was Lois Lane.
Yeah, she was actually respectful of the character. She was actually to portray the character how she is. So actually, I see it as a win.
I just feel like in that series, Clark should have ended up with either Lana or Chloe.
Or Wonder Woman.
Actually, no. He should have ended up with Alicia. If you watch Smallville, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Actually, Nick, let me ask you this. Who would you have casted back then to play Wonder Woman if they actually had Diana show up, even for a cameo?
Oh, dear God, you're making me go back to the 2000s.
So, in other words, when you were 2,000 years old. I had to.
Honestly, probably Adrienne Palicki. Like, she was actually in Smallville.
They bring her as that Wonder Woman is canon to Smallville.
Well, here's the thing. She's actually a good actress. Like, if you watch her in the Orville, she's a good actress.
She's
like,
good.
I think she's kind of like, the problem with Adrienne Palicki is she got shoehorned into the hot girl roles. Like, that's kind of like, was her problem. She got shoehorned into the, oh, look at her, she's hot, she's so hot. By the way, Adrienne Palicki was actually the villain in the Aquaman pilot too. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Which, by the way, you know what's kind of funny is, you know who I would have casted as Batman if he were not already cast on the show?
Who?
Alan Rickson as Batman, who he played Aquaman the show. Because you know what's kind of funny? He's been campaigning hard to play Batman.
I could see it. We'll find out though.
Yeah,
He's got.
because here's the thing. After watching Jack Reacher, he could play a dark Bruce Wayne, I think.
I mean, he's basically playing Batman in Reacher, so.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's Batman with guns, which actually is
I mean, Reacher is like one of the world's greatest detectives, so.
There you go. Brown Destroyer says, which is the worst Lois Lane in animation? The recent cartoon? Yep. My Adventure with Superman had the worst version of Lois Lane ever. And here's how you know it was the worst version. Everyone acknowledged it. That was the greatest part of that show, is that after that, everyone's like, Lois is so abusive. And I'm like, thank you. You accept
Didn't
it.
like even the show itself in universe acknowledge that version of Lois as being bad or something?
Yeah, it was so good. And then they followed it up with an episode where it's like a multiversal group of Loises, which was my personal hell.
The Council of Loises has decreed.
I think it was like the League of Lois Lanes or something like that. That's actually the name.
No,
but...
the League of Lois Lames.
Yeah, well, actually, it's kind of funny. Mixelplick called it that.
I bet when you heard that, you kind of been like, ah!
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's what I'm calling it. Wonder Woman would have been amazing at Smallville because nor Chloe nor Lana, not even Lois, was able to understand Clark's issues and problems as super being. Yeah, that could have worked if they had actually brought her in.
Oh, I have a question. So,
so
you know how they had Supergirl and like they had her acclimating to Earth?
Yeah.
What if instead of doing Supergirl, they did Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Basically, they gave that storyline to Wonder Woman, and they actually started to have a romance.
That would have actually worked really well.
And then it turned into a Super Wonder show. I guarantee you, if they had done that and done it right, Sierra would be like, Smallville is the best version of Superman ever.
I would have still said, screw Lionel Luthor. Hey, what's up, Legion? Legion of Comics, what's up, fellas? Love Batman and Robin. No apologies. Joel nailed the modern take on 66. Was a blast watching it. Okay, it's still fair enough. How about Eva Longoria as Wonder Woman in Smallville?
She has the look, but I'm not sure if she could nail the physicality. I mean, maybe
it would be funnier if Adriana Palicki was Wonder Woman.
Actually, if we're gonna go in a more like Hispanic route for the actress, what's Jennifer Lopez?
No, I got a perfect actress. You would never anticipate this. Gal Gadot. I had to.
I mean, she. Well, the thing is, she wouldn't have much acting experience because, like, at this time, she would be fresh off of her Miss Israel. Like, wait, the beauty pageant star. At least when she was cast, she had a few acting credits. Like, she had been Fast and Furious. Oh.
MSK. At least Zach never had Wonder Woman punch her mother. Let's talk about the worst Batman, Robin, or Madam Web. I haven't watched Madam Web yet. I'm waiting until it's on streaming because from what I've seen, it's not worth going to theaters for it.
It's Madam Webbing time.
It's webbing time. Yeah, exactly. So continuing on, this movie, then they bring in Batgirl, and at least they didn't do the Batman and Batgirl relationship, which Madam Web is way worse. Nice, Legion.
I mean, if anything, they're kind of doing the other wrong ship.
But here's the thing, at least that one has less, like, in my mind, evil like background. So I'm like,
also it was more of just they were flirting with each other kind of thing. Like they weren't like, it was more just like playful flirting banter. Like I'm sure you'd rather Batgirl playfully flirted with Robin than with Batman. I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. And Nick, even though you ship Nightwing with Starfire, wouldn't you rather have this as opposed to what Bruce Timm did?
I mean, yeah.
So that's the other thing, but they change it so she's Alfred's niece, even though she doesn't have a British accent.
I do have to say though,
yeah,
there is, Jared.
What?
I have to just say there is one speech in this movie. Oh, you're kind of going in and out.
I can hear you.
All right, you're
Keep
back.
going.
There is one thing. Oh! We have a Nix in the chat.
Nix, if you want to join, I'll send you a link. If you want to join us, that's fine.
Join us. But there is one speech in this movie that I really do like, and it's when Batman is talking to Mr. Freeze. He said, "Anyone can take a life, but to give life, that is true power. Tell me, doctor, how do I cure McGregor syndrome stage 1?" And then he just looks at him, takes those two things as, "Take 2 of these and call me in the morning." Because we haven't even talked about the whole Alfred subplot. I actually really like that they gave, like, because Alfred has always been a background character. And he's like, him and, like, oh, Jared, do you realize that him and Commissioner Gordon are the only 2 characters to be in all 4 movies?
Yeah. That is really weird and cool.
So I'm really, really glad they gave Alfred more prominence in this movie. I thought that was very well done, like very fitting. And you know how he was basically dying of like McGregor syndrome, and like the same thing of like as soon as they're like said, oh, he developed stuff for the earlier stages of McGregor syndrome. Oh, I was like, ooh, I know where this is going. I like where this is going, and I do love that like Batman actually kind of reformed Mr. Freeze in the end. Like, he kind of did the B task. Like, I think this is like a live-action Batman the Animated Series.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it.
Nix, I sent you a link. So, yeah, I do agree with you to a certain degree. If B task was campy as hell, should not God's new movie be called Justice League Unlimited instead of Superman? Yes, exactly. And we talked about this last night. But
I don't think it should be JLU because that brings up too many connotations. I think it's an adaptation of the cartoon.
I think it's like JLI or something like that. Judging by the lineup of the Justice League that he's using, it's JLI. There is another terrible thing that was designed about Batman and Robin to pair Mr. Freeze with Poison Ivy. Yeah, that's what the Honest trailer even called out, because it's like they're going to team up even though their goals are mutually exclusive.
Yeah. Like, I get Bane and Poison Ivy. Like, Bane is her muscle. Like, that's fine. And tying in her origin, like, that's fine. But Mr. Freeze is like...
So I have to bring in, we have a guest that just showed up. Long-standing fan of Avengers 200 and Spider-Man One More Day.
Batman doesn't do ships.
Hey, Nix.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Just said goodbye to my nieces.
Yeah, so Batman and Robin.
How about them bat nipples?
So by the way, Brown brings up a good point. Which is the best casting for Batman and Robin?
You mean like which actor was the best casted?
Yeah.
I'd say Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah,
I think Chris O'Donnell as like a more college age, like young adult Robin. I think it was probably like really good. Though part of me kind of wants to see what Damian Wayans would have been like.
Yeah, that's actually true. Watch, he basically turns into Blank Man. What about you, Nick?
He did take his Batman money and make Blank Man with it. So,
of course,
I think I'd like Robin a lot better if they didn't make him so whiny in the movies.
I'm going solo. I want a car. Just take a car.
Like it's like he was written to be a lot younger than he ended up actually being. But
yeah, and the problem with this, and this goes back into the first movie we showed up. Here's the problem with that: they made him too old. So like when Batman adopts him and takes him in, I'm like, he's a 30-year-old man. What are you talking about adopting?
Literally.
Yeah, I agree with Nix. It does seem like the script was kind of written with like a younger kid in mind, because like he's obviously like also like he's a young adult. Why are they taking him to Bruce Wayne, the richest man in Gotham? Like, why?
It's contrived. By the way,
like it's one thing if Bruce himself like has him come in, you know.
Brown has that interesting thing. The whole Macaulay Culkin is Damian Wayne.
Well, actually, I could see Macaulay as as Dick or Tim. I can actually see him being like, especially that era Macaulay Culkin. I can actually see him doing a pretty good job because Macaulay's a good actor.
I could see him as Tim Drake. It'll be kind of funny. Joker tries to break into the Wayne Manor, and Tim's like, "I got this," and he turns into Home Alone.
Oh, have you heard like the fan theories that Home Alone is actually a prequel to Saw? Like basically, Macaulay Culkin's character turns into the guy from Saw.
That would be.
That's actually makes sense. I have the. Oh, by the way, I have the perfect Robin for this era.
Who?
Eddie Furlong.
Who's Eddie Furlong?
Terminator 2.
Oh, the kid who played John Connor.
Yeah, he's perfect. He's perfect. No, he's perfect. Like, he's the right age. You know, he's a little bit older, but like, he's got that action cred. I could totally see him as Dick Grayson. Like, he is perfect as for like 97.
You know what? Yeah, I do agree with you on that. He would actually work really well for Dick Grayson. Even though attitude, and you know what's kind of funny? If you want him to play Damien, he has the. You could just say, act like you did with John Connor in Terminator 2.
Well, Damien didn't exist at this point. So
okay. Daniel also says the kid from Last Action Hero.
Well, he certainly would have experience work with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's for sure. Well, so did Eddie Furlong, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. But next, what do you want to say?
I was gonna say, I think the best casting in the movie is that they kept the guy who'd been playing Alfred for all the other movies.
Yeah,
like even the Tim Burton movies. I don't know. Whenever I think Alfred, I always think of him or the one from Batman the Animated Series.
Also, Gordon, the actor for Gordon, is in all 4 movies.
Yeah,
but you know what's kind of funny? There's a shot of it. I think it was in the Kilmer Batman movie where he's driving the Batmobile and you see Commissioner Gordon on the screen, but he's dressed like an army general. And I'm like, you're a police commissioner. What are you doing?
I mean, to be fair, police commissioners often do dress in that kind of finery. Like, look at Dark Knight Rises. You know, like the cop guy, when he's marching out, he's basically dressed like a military person.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
But I guess here's one of my favorite fun facts about this movie. Mm-hmm. So you know Gossip Gertie? In like Forever and Rob, Gossip Gertie. He's a character from Forever and Batman and Robin.
Very minor character.
Go ahead.
That's Bob Kane's wife.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. That is Bob Kane's actual wife.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the same thing like Madam Web in Spider-Man the Animated Series was voiced by Stan Lee's wife.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I knew about that one. It's really cute too because in the episode where he meets Stan Lee in the show, they have them kind of briefly interact, and they compliment each other, and it's kind of a wink and a nod to their relationship in real life.
My headcanon is that they were actually in the booth, like in the same booth while recording those lines, and that's them actually just talking to each other. They just happened to record it.
I would love that. That would be so cool. Brown Destroyer said, did you guys know that American Psycho is a prequel to a rom-com Laws of Attraction movie? I did not know that. Interesting.
Is that real, or is that like a headcanon thing?
Brown, is that real or a headcanon? Daniel says, we still don't have the actress for the 90s Wonder Woman.
90s Wonder Woman. Dear God.
Who would be a 90s Wonder Woman?
Linda Hamilton?
Just keep, and then I would love if like when somehow Freeze is fighting Wonder Woman, he goes, "I'll be back."
Actually, Mila Jovovich.
Oh God.
I mean, she's got. I think she could do it.
Someone called Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yeah, we'll get a Wonder Woman movie directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
And it turns into that's probably the only kind of funny. That my headcanon is that the Resident Evil is just Paul W.S. Anderson's Wonder Woman idea, but he had to turn into a Resident Evil movie.
I gotta be honest with you though, I have mad respect for Anderson. His waifu is his wife. It's like his muse. If you're gonna have a woman that you just put in all your movies and your creative muse, if it's your wife, I have mad respect for that. So you know.
True. And by the way, Brown says it's real. One of the characters in rom-com Laws of Attraction, is the brother of Christian Bale's character in American Psycho. Oh, really?
Crazy.
That's kind of cool. I like finding out all these movies are connected. So, yeah. Let's see. What could I see Alice from Resident Evil as Wonder Woman, though?
I think, I mean, she's done a lot of other stuff. Well, certainly she can handle the action, first and foremost. You can acknowledge that.
Monica Bellucci?
No. Carrie Ann Moss?
So you're saying she's the one?
No.
According to Matrix Resurrection, she is A1.
No.
Come on, Nick. We all know you can't appreciate the best Matrix movie.
No.
Oh, come on, Nick. Don't be a Starfield hater.
I am a Starfield hater.
I had to represent. I had to mention that one time. Just let the wheel of time keep rolling, Nick. But,
all right, Jared. Chill.
All right. And Nick, I might as well ask you, who would you see as like the 90s Wonder Woman?
Good question. No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of like there were some 90s action women, but there are very few. Like it wasn't until the 2000s that we really got a lot of good action, like 90s action women.
Well, you know, there weren't any. Do you know why there weren't any female action stars back then? It's because the Hunger Games still hadn't come out yet.
Actually, well, see, the problem is if we're gonna go late 90s, we have access to a lot of female wrestlers. So I'm gonna say this: China as Wonder Woman. She's got the size. She's got the physicality.
Who is
like
that?
She's a female wrestler.
Can you send me a link to her to her so I can see what she looks like? Did you guys know that Event Horizon is connected to a Hellraiser movie with the Pinhead potion? Oh, that's a good portion. I did not know that. That's interesting.
China, I think, is actually the only woman to win the WWE middleweight title.
Oh, interesting. Randy says, I wonder what Batman Forever and Batman and Robin would have looked like if Tim Burton had directed them. Now, that is an excellent question.
Well, Tim was supposed to do Batman Forever. We know that.
Yeah.
All right, check leak chat.
All right, well, let me see that. Yeah, I could see that. Either her or Big Barda, I could see that.
Like she's got the size. Like we can debate about the acting ability, but like size and like looks, yeah, she could be Wonder Woman.
Here, particularly Wonder Woman at that time period, because she even has the Wonder Woman hair.
Yeah, look at her arms. Like that girl's ripped.
Mm-hmm.
Also, rest in peace, young lady.
Yeah, I could kind of see that, but
trying to think of like other like major wrestlers from that period.
My mind immediately went to Lucy Lawless, Lena.
Oh, that's our Wonder Woman. That's our Wonder Woman.
As I was thinking.
Yeah, you know what?
It works.
You literally cannot like not do that. I mean,
she's got the look, she's got the physicality, she's used to action, and she is a dang good actress. Perfect Wonder Woman casting.
You could just tell her you're Xena, but the daughter of Zeus. That's all you have to do.
I mean, you look at Xena's outfit; it's almost Wonder Woman-esque too.
By the way,
but with superpowers.
I'm gonna tell you this. I've considered recommending Xena for a rewatch. That'll be interesting because I've never seen the show. Considering I'm a big Wonder Woman fan.
I kind of feel like we should watch Hercules first, because they're technically like in the same universe.
Okay, that works. And there's also comics for Xena, so I should check those out.
I mean,
it was a great show. Hercules is pretty great too.
The girl played Buffy. Sarah Michelle Gellar as Wonder Woman.
No.
Maybe.
No.
I can maybe see that.
No. Donna Troy or Cassie, maybe, but not Diana.
Well, she's blonde, but she's you can always put a wig on her, but
there's also a Hercules and Xena animated movie.
No, really.
Yeah, it's not very good. I enjoy it.
You know who they should get to? You know who they should get to play? Who should have been Robin in Batman? It's the guy who played Hercules in Young Hercules.
I've never seen Young Hercules.
Nix, do you get the joke that I'm brewing?
Oh God.
Someone,
I
I
just
think.
Googled Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
Ryan
know this
Gosling was
existed.
young Hercules.
Wow.
really?
No. I'm not
What?
down for that. No. I'm
He would
talking
make a
about
good Robin. Ryan Gosling
He's-
for the 90s would make a good Robin.
Brown said he's talking about the movie, not Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh, Chrissy Swanson.
Let
Maybe.
me see this.
Chrissy Swanson. He's talking about Chrissy Swanson. That's
Yeah,
the actress name.
I'm looking her up. Yeah, I could kind of see that, I guess. At that time period, yeah, I could see that. That kind of works. So,
there's another actor who I think would be really, really good. He was in this episode of Goosebumps.
so while Nick does that,
Let me just grab an
the other thing.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a bit young. He's a bit of a youngling, but I think he'd be really good.
So the other the issue that I have with continuing on with the movie, so they shoehorn in the Batgirl, but the problem with this is that Batgirl all of a sudden can fight, but they don't do enough, I think, earlier in the movie to establish she has like hand-to-hand combat skills. It's like she just throws on the suit, she's good to go.
Jared, check Leak Chat. Like, I think that guy would have made a really good Robin.
Maybe.
Do you know who that is?
No.
That's Hayden Christensen.
What?
Yeah, that's Hayden Christensen. He was on an episode of Goosebumps.
Really?
Show the picture. Show the picture. Show the picture.
Yeah. He seems like the chosen one.
Yeah.
It said he's supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them. Oh my God. That is
Yeah,
Oh wow, babyface Hayden Christensen.
Yeah. I'm sending them the wiki page, but yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just having fun. I'm diving into my noggin for all these.
So continuing on with Batman, do you guys agree with me that an issue with this movie is that they shoehorn in that Batgirl is a hand-to-hand combat fighter, but I don't think they did a lot to like establish that she at least was trained, if I remember correctly.
The funny thing is that they substitute showing her training in hand-to-hand combat and giving us a reason as to why she could fight with her being good at riding motorcycles. And it's like, but that doesn't come up at any point in the movie.
So this is where you hang around. And
yeah.
Why not make it an underground fight club instead of like a motorcycle race?
Honestly, that would make a lot more sense. And like, imagine Chris O'Donnell actually having to enter and face, and like they actually have to face each other, and he's wearing like a similar like Robin mask, but like more street clothes kind of thing.
What they could also do would be kind of fun is if like she figures out that he's Robin because he does a fight move that she recognizes from watching Batman and Robin. In other words, they do the Tim Drake thing, but with her.
Yeah, I was about to call you out on that. So
they do kind of that, and then she's like, "You're Batman and you're Robin." It's something because this movie is just I showed no respect for I showed very little respect for source material.
So we're going to talk about making her a Pennyworth, like making her Alfred's niece,
which I don't like, by the way. I'm just like, it's just random because Alfred never mentioned he had a niece.
Then all of a sudden, bam! Here she is at the door. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, my uncle's dying.
Yeah, I don't understand. What was the decision behind that? You had to. It's not like Commissioner Gordon didn't exist.
I think it would have been a lot easier if they would have said like, as soon as I heard he was dying, I came rushing, and neither her nor Alfred, like, they're trying to keep it from them, but like she's rushing and she's trying to get him like the care, like he hasn't told him, but he told her that's why she's there. Mm-hmm. That would make so much more sense to why she suddenly appeared.
Yeah, but all in all, so this movie, basically has the fight, and I like the idea of Poison Ivy betraying Freeze because it makes more sense as to why Freeze would help Batman, because and again, my problem with this movie is and Nix, we talked to Chuck about this. It's not like, and he's like, yeah, he wasn't a fan with how they showed like Bane in this, because again, he's not a Hulk character. He's
not even a character in the movie. He's a prop in the movie.
Yeah,
barely even that.
Well, remember where he breaks Freeze out of jail and he's rolling through the halls of Arkham where
a laundry service that delivers. Thank you, Mr. Bane. I'm sorry. I know, like my artistic superpower is on overdrive right now. It's like I know all the catchphrases from this movie.
Of course you do. So then they have to do a costume change into like the Frost suit, and then here's the other.
What are you, a size 9, big and tall? I always get a size smaller. Makes me look slimmer. I'm tall. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
And you have the scene where everyone knows beyond being able to fight. Well, actually, hang on. I was about to say, how's Batgirl know how to use the bat cycle, but it's a motorcycle. Of course, you would know how to use that because
the one thing we've shown her actually knowing how to use.
So I'm like, okay, that works. But it's like, then you have the final battle. It's forgettable. But CG anime fan says, I could get backlash, but I believe Batman and Robin is a good film. No, you're not going to get backlash because guess what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. We may disagree with it, but
hey,
fair enough,
fine.
Dude. We're not like the Smallville actors.
I mean, hey, I've been like pseudo defending this film for like the last hour, like saying like, yeah, it's bad, but there's some good parts.
Here's the thing. Here's the one thing I will say. While I don't like the creative decisions made in this movie, I understand why they were made. It's not like they were made for there was a reason for it. But
and I do not blame Joel Schumacher for this movie. I do not.
Nick, Jared, how about the guy from American Pie to play Dick Grayson? Cool.
You're gonna need to narrow it down because like I don't know American Pie as well as you think I would do.
He said cool brunette guy from American Pie, I guess. But what's the character's name, Brown?
Yeah, the character's name. Then I can talk to you about it.
Yeah,
like I've seen American Pie. I like it. It's just I saw it later in life, so it's not like I saw this one like in theaters.
Very later in life. I had to. I had to.
You're at an 11. Turn it down to a 4, please.
Exactly. So then I think that let's see. The battle ends. Alfred's cured. Everything goes back to normal. But then you have like, okay, she's going to be Batgirl now. So I'm like, okay. And then we never got another movie. And the funny part about this, the fallout we were going to, but the fallout again, this movie, like I said at the beginning of the stream, killed the Nick Cage Superman movie as well.
Do you know the plans for Batman Unchained?
Why don't you tell us?
Okay, so you know the episode of BTAS where Batman's on trial?
Yeah.
They were going to do that, but in movie form, and bring back all of the villains. Like, they're even going to bring back Jack Nicholson as the Joker to reprise his role. And they're basically going to... Somehow the Joker returned.
That I like that one.
And they basically would have done that. It would have been Batman Unchained. I think Dick Grayson was going to become Nightwing. But yeah, that was. I think there's a couple different versions of the movie. It was supposed to come out like I think.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Nix.
I was gonna say I heard one where they were going to have Harley Quinn be a character, but instead of the Joker's henchwoman, girlfriend, whatever, she was like his daughter or something.
Oh God!
So like a Duella Dent kind of situation.
Kinda, yeah.
Which, by the way, she's the Joker's daughter in the Gotham Knights show. And of course,
we don't talk about that.
Of course, she enters into a relationship with Batman's son because it's a CW show.
We don't talk about that, Jared.
Well, yeah, they have to make it as horrible as possible for all parties involved.
Isn't the only reason that show exists is because they had a contract for Batwoman for like 4 seasons. They need something to like fill like the last season slot or something.
And there's a reason why it's not getting a second season. Joker would have come back in some form of hallucinations rather than magically coming back to life. Yeah, that would have made a little more sense.
Yeah, I think the Scarecrow was involved or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. As opposed to he just shows up, and I'm like, but he fell
walked it
off
off.
a building. He walked off, falling off a building and getting punched by Batman.
Falling off a what was that, like a 20 or 30-story building or something?
Yeah, because he was at the top of the church. Batman dragged him down the ladder, and then the ladder, I think he fell off the ladder and then just hit the street. Yeah, he's dead.
How dare Batman kill a guy with glasses? How dare he?
Batman killed. Oh my gosh, it's the worst movie of all time.
Also, I like my favorite part of that is it's like the and then like they do it and it's like a recording thing. I love the unsaid joke. The Joker got the last laugh. Like I love how they don't even need to say it. It is so heavily implied. Like,
Nick, what'd you think of the Flash when they had Other Barry grab the laughing bag? He goes, "Look, it's a bag that laughs." That silence is all I have to know.
Kill me now, please.
Scarecrow was going to be the main villain of the third Schumacher Batman film with Harley Quinn as another villain. Okay, Coolio, who had a cameo in Batman and Robin, was going to play Scarecrow.
Honestly, Coolio, I like with his look. I can see it. I don't know. Something about Coolio says to me I can kind of see that.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. That works. So
they wouldn't have to change his hairstyle, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're gonna wrap it up with this. How do you guys rate this movie out of 10? Me, I rank it 5 out of 10 because while it's not the worst superhero movie I've ever watched, Blank Man has that ranking, but it's not anywhere near anything less than maybe average. Let me put it this way: a 5 is as generous as I can be with this movie.
For me, I give it 6 Mr. Freeze puns out of 10. It's not a good movie by any means, but it's kind of watchable in like a so bad it's good kind of way. Like you can have some enjoyment out of it.
10 out of 10.
Also, the fact that Catwoman exists vindicates this film to some degree. This Catwoman makes this look like the Snyder Cut.
What?
True.
Which, by the way, Jared,
I can't argue that.
By the way, Jared, that's your film for next year's April Fools.
No, we haven't gotten there yet. There's plenty of other crappy films. But we did decide, Jay Heat and Talati and I decided that as long as Captain Marvel movies keep coming out, those are going to be permanently your movies for April Fools.
No!
So you better hope they get rid of Brie Larson soon, Nick, because you're going to be stuck with it.
No!
So, Nick, how do you rate Batman and Robin?
Well, I'm probably being generous, but this movie was a part of my childhood, and I do kind of love it in some way, regardless of the flaw. And also the fact that, honestly, Schumacher was such a nice guy. I'd give it like a 5.5 out of 10.
All right. There you go. All right, Brown asks, Jared, Nick, what do you think about DC Comics Joker's origin when Joker was older than Gotham City and different being from being human, which is why Joker doesn't have a pain tolerance? Batman figures out while investigating. Is that better not be an actual canon origin? I think that was Scott Snyder had this idea of like Joker being like a supernatural force in Gotham, but he later got retconned that idea out in the middle of the comics run, I think. So it's not like that's actually canon. Let me put this way.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
I'm of the opinion Joker should not have an established origin. That's just me.
It works better when it's multiple choice.
Yeah.
Also, why the heck have we not gotten William Dafoe as a Joker yet? I mean, come on.
You know what? That would kind of work. He already has the laugh.
No, oh my god. Okay, I have a question for you guys. So, if they're not, instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who would you have cast as Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin in the 90s?
I don't know a lot of 90s actors. That's tough.
Dean Cain? No, they would never done that. Trying to think of like my 90s actors roster. Jeff Goldblum.
I saw this from the Channel Awesome's re-rate. What if Tim Burton had done Batman and Robin? I'd say Patrick Stewart.
So you're telling me he could say, "Make it so."
Actually, I think Jonathan Frakes. If we're going Star Trek actors, I think Jonathan Frakes would have been. Oh my God, Jonathan Frakes would have been a perfect Lex Luthor for Superman Lives. Dear God, yes.
Yeah, I like that. Lad says Joker with multiple origins and you don't know which one is true. That's my favorite. Yeah, exactly. That's what, and they did an homage to that in Dark Knight when every time the Joker goes, "You want to know how I got these scars?" He tells a different story,
Which is clever.
And yeah, Jonathan Frakes was actually on Superman and Lois. Like he had I think he was on either like a stint or who did he play?
By the way, CG Anime fan says if William Dafoe played Joker, it likely would have been too similar to his Green Goblin performance, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know. He's a good enough actor, I think. Ron Destroyer, Kirkwood Smith as Mr. Freeze.
Who's that?
Okay, he's that 70s show and RoboCop. Like, if you've seen him in RoboCop, yes, he could do Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. I've seen him in other stuff, and yeah, I could see him playing Mr. Freeze. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Randy says to think this movie used to be the butt of every joke when it came out, when it comes to movies, until this era of movies came along. Yeah, you know what's kind of funny? In the same way that the sequel trilogy made people rethink how much they hated the prequel trilogy, I get the feeling that people are going to start looking to like Batman and Robin as more favorably after seeing a lot of what has been coming out of like comic book films.
It's all relative because you got to realize before the prequels came out, Return of the Jedi was like the way we talk about the prequels and the new stuff. People talked about Return of the Jedi as like the weakest part of the sequels. The Ewoks got mocked relentlessly, and then the prequels came out. All of a sudden, Return of the Jedi was just as good as the rest of the series. So it's like it happens all the time, and honestly, I would not be surprised if something else comes out, like another Star Wars trilogy that makes the sequel trilogy look good.
Bite your tongue. Pamela Anderson as 90s Power Girl. Yes. That works. That works.
She's got the top.
That works. Yeah.
She's got the tops.
Kirkwood Smith could have been Lex Luthor in Superman Returns.
By that point, he was kind of getting a little old for the role.
Yeah.
I actually think Kevin Spacey did a good job as Lex Luthor. Like, he's a terrible person, but I think he was a good Lex Luthor.
Well, Nick, what you don't realize is that he method acts as Lex Luthor. So he's still being Lex Luthor.
Have you seen the guy's like Thanksgiving? Like he does like a Thanksgiving or Christmas video every year, and they're creepy as frick.
Yeah, exactly. I bet. So yeah, so we're gonna wrap this stream up. This was a fun one, and so Nick, where can we find you, and what have you got coming on your channel?
All right, so in less than an hour, Nick Lug and I will be going back to New York City, trying to stop Scorpion from his toxic cloud. Apparently, he's weaponized the gun fans. All their hot air is made in New York City.
But the toxic minority.
Yes. On Monday, we got Comics Watch. We got a rewatch coming out. We'll be doing Teen Titans. Wednesday, we got Comics Watch. Jared, tell them what we're doing for Comics Watch this week.
We are going to be talking about what we would want to see. So if they make another Arkham game after Suicide Squad, what we would do, whether or not that's a prequel game, like another Arkham Origins game, or like a sequel game, and try how can Rocksteady redeem themselves after Suicide Squad?
Yes, sir.
So that's kind of that. And Daniel, you speak the truth, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So Nix, how about you? Where can we find you?
You can find me on X or Twitter, whatever you prefer to call it. Whatever it is in your heart these days. Bunny Girl Nix.
All right. So, and in
Mostly
terms
just
of
kind of post nonsense.
in terms of for us, for Comics League, Britt and I are going to record Super Wonder Legacy tonight, where we're fixing DC Rebirth. And before you say anything, it's a running part of the joke. Not doing DC Rebirth is not an option. And for my commentary videos, I probably will do a why Marvel needs a reboot, or really why the Ultimate Universe is a great idea for Marvel right now. And in terms of UTC, Talati and I are going to be talking about All-Star Superman. And in terms of movie night, I don't think we designated a third movie for this week's movie nights. I don't think
Catwoman.
Oh yeah. See, I did do that, but the thing is that Taladia reviewed that for April Fools.
Oh.
We'll come up with another one, or
Karate Kid Part 3.
Well, actually, here's the thing: Taladia didn't finish the movie, so you know what? Yeah, we're doing Catwoman. We'll do Catwoman. He didn't complete the movie, so he has to. So, all right.
You're saying Cat got his tongue?
Yeah, exactly. All right, Piranha Story. I agree with your DC needs a reboot video. Thank you, dude. And by the way, so let's do a view count on that, because that video has been freaking blowing up recently. So I just want to see, like, how good has that? My DC needs a reboot video. 813 views. Yes, there you go. Yep, it just exploded that first day. So long live Zois and Maxabat. Nix, do you know what Maxabat is? Have I told you this joke?
No, I don't believe you have.
So Britt and I were recording my Super Wonder show, and she was talking about how, like, Maxima, the character, is basically how Wonder Bat fans see, like, Wonder Woman. Like, she's so aggressive, and she only cares about, like, Bruce being a rich guy. So what I said is that, so you're telling me they really want Bruce Wayne to be with Maxima, a.k.a. Maxabat?
Who?
The Wonder Bat fans coming from, like, JL and JLU. Because the argument that I've heard from people is she has to be with Batman because he's rich and she's a princess. And I'm like, that is the stupidest argument I've ever seen.
No,
a lot of the Wonder Bat arguments make absolutely zero sense, and that's for you, lad. So, on that note, everyone, stay heroic, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye-bye. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lame, and Maxabat for life. Zois for life!